Hey guys, what's up? It's Corbin Stuckey with Pixel Talk here, and today I'm here to give you a review on Marvel's new film, Ant-Man. Ant-Man is a film directed by Peyton Reed, which revolves around a man named Scott Lang who one night during a burglary comes across a suit that allows him to shrink down to the size of an ant, but still allowing him to retain his human strength. Now, I've been following this movie for a while. It's probably been like 6 years I've been following this movie because when I went to go see the Avengers, I was wondering why Ant-Man wasn't in this film because Ant-Man was a founding Avenger. And I've just had this sudden want for an Ant-Man movie for a while. And when I heard that they were making an Ant-Man movie, I was really excited, even though it was a stupid concept to some people, which is probably why he wasn't in the first Avengers movie. But after the success of Guardians of the Galaxy, which Marvel was making obscure characters on the big screen, they decided to go ahead with this project. And what did I think of the Ant-Man movie? I thought it was really well done. I also think it's a pretty original concept. I mean, I know it's an adaptation of a comic book, but like, I don't think anything's really been done like this on the silver screen. I mean, it's kind of cool actually. I know to a lot of people it's really stupid, but knowing that this is a man that has the ability to shrink down to the size of an ant and still retain his human abilities, I think it's pretty useful and resourceful. And people aren't, acknowledging that. I also love how this takes place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because looking at the trailers, it didn't really appear as though it had a lot of nudges to like what we already know so far. But going into this, there are so many nudges. There's like, references towards the Avengers, there's references towards S.H.I.E.L.D., and I absolutely love that, like, not only was this movie trying to be its own thing, but there were just still a number of factors involved that made you realize that this was a Marvel Cinematic Universe film. Okay, let's get into characters real quick. Paul Rudd as Scott Lang, or Ant-Man. I thought he was really well done. When I first heard that he was becoming Ant-Man, I was really excited, but I was also hesitant at the same time because, Paul Rudd is known for comedic roles. But he did a really good job with this film, and I will say that this is the most relatable character I have ever seen in a Marvel film. Like, he just gets out of prison, he's trying to find a job, and he's trying to, like, get back with his daughter, but he can't because, like, he's divorced with his wife. She's got a new husband, and I feel as though anybody could really relate to this character. Even when he wasn't Ant-Man, it was still really cool seeing how he did things as a burglar. Like, in one scene, this isn't really a spoiler, it's just like a little example, he breaks into a house, and because there's like a fingerprint on this locking mechanism, he goes into the kitchen and takes like tape and like a finger ring, and he makes like his own fingerprint from the doorknob, and he's able to get in. And he's able to like freeze nitrogen and break into this carbon fiber like safe, and it's just really cool seeing how like much of a smart thief that he is. But him in an Ant-Man suit was actually really cool too, because like, he got to shrink down to the size of an ant, and all the surroundings were just like really cool. I have to say that the best part about the film was when he shrunk down to the size of an ant, and he got to experience the world around him in this huge size. It kind of reminded me of like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. This is kind of this generation's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It was really interesting seeing Michael Douglas as Hank Pym, because if you guys don't know, Hank Pym is actually a really significant character in Marvel Comics, and he's not really supposed to be this old in the film, but I guess the writers decided to make him an older character because he's somewhat of a mentor to Scott Lang in this film, and it was really interesting to see that interpretation of that character, and it was really cool seeing how he was involved with S.H.I.E.L.D. back in the 1960s and like all the operations he did as the original Ant-Man. So yeah, I definitely like Michael Douglas' interpretation of Hank Pym, even though it was somewhat different from the comics. It was still kind of a likable thing that they did in the movie. And the actress who played Hope Van Dyne, I thought she did a really good job playing that role. And it was really interesting seeing like that father and daughter relationship between her and Michael Douglas, considering that there isn't really a relationship in the comics. Like, Hope Van Dyne is not a real character in the Marvel Comics. However, it's leading up to something in later films where she actually becomes a well-known character, so I'm really glad that they're going down that route. I'll discuss that in a spoiler review, but I actually like what they're doing so far, and I liked her character. Corey Stoll as Darren Cross, aka the Yellow Jacket, he's a pretty basic villain in this film. It's just a guy who wants to take the Ant-Man tech and use it for the government, use it as a weapon. And, it's a pretty generic plot. We've all heard it so far, but like, I actually found his character really menacing. There are scenes in the film where he actually like kills business people that don't want to be part of his company because they don't believe in the technology and, they think that the suit is dangerous. He actually kills some people off because like, he's trying to like, sell the suit off. Like, And I just thought that was really pretty, like, menacing, and yeah, and he did a really good job acting-wise for the most part. He was pretty menacing. One complaint I did have about the film, though, is that when they weren't doing anything in the film and they were at Hank Pym's house and, like, talking, I mean, it just kind of seems like, filler. They're trying to, like, get across as to why they really need Scott Lang to do this for them. Like, it's just like they're trying to explain over and over and over again, like, why they need this thief to be, the Ant-Man, and they're trying to shove it down our throats. And, I just thought it was filler. But the parts where he actually shrinks down to the size of an ant to do, like, his job was actually one of the most memorable parts of the film. I also love, how Marvel films, like, have, like, their own, genres in these films, because, Guardians of the Galaxy, it was a space film. The Avengers, it was a superhero film. Iron Man, it's a billion-dollar Playboy film. This film is a heist film, and I love how, like, it differentiates from other Marvel films, and I think they did a really good job with this film as a heist film. And I think a reason why people are really wary about seeing this film is because this is a character that they are not really familiar with, and after big blockbusters like, the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, it's questionable whether or not you should really see this film. Like, a friend I went to see the movie with, he looked at me and he said, "Is this movie really necessary?" And I looked at him and I was like, "It's not really necessary, but it's still a fun film." Like, think about it, guys. If unknown characters like Thor or Captain America came out after a big blockbuster film like The Avengers for some odd reason, I don't know, would we have been weary about seeing standalone films with just these one characters in the film? Yeah, probably we would have been really weary about seeing characters like that. Because we are so used to blockbuster films like, The Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, we are kind of like, weary about seeing standalone superhero movies with just one character. But I'm really proud to say that Ant-Man was a really well done film, and I gotta say it's a really original concept, and I think everyone should go see it. I don't think it did well on its opening night, and that really sucked, because it's got like an original plot. A guy who shrinks down to the size of an ant and is able to like maintain his human strength, like that's pretty original. I don't think it's been like really done before. So if you're looking for like an original concept and you're also looking for a Marvel movie with like, Marvel Easter eggs, I would really recommend you going to see Ant-Man. I know people have been like really weary, but I actually like this film, and I think everyone should go see it. I don't want anyone to miss out on this film. Go see this movie, because I honestly don't want this movie to fail. Alright guys, thank you so much for checking out my review of Ant-Man. Comment down below what you thought of this movie if you've seen it yet. Like my video, please share it, and please subscribe to Pixel Talk if you haven't yet. Alright guys, thank you so much. I'm Corbin Stuckey, and thank you for watching.